Welcome back everyone to Mudstomp Solves, the channel where we solve cardboard puzzles, 3D block builds, and many other things that all relate to putting pieces in the right position, such as pen and paper puzzles. Today, our piece build is going to be a BookNook. This is the first BookNook I've ever built. I'm doing this one here, the Forest Wonderland, for my wife. Yeah, I've opened this briefly just to see that it looks accurate and stuff, just for ordering purposes, but other than that I've not really looked into it, so we're going to have a look into it to start with. I'm going to start building it probably, and then I'm going to probably time-lapse quite a bit of it. So having our first look, we have a bag of air, super useful for delivery obviously purposes, keeping it padded. So this looks like probably 30 mils of glue. You'll notice, obviously, this is, I've gotten this all through, you know, your typical websites of ordering things. So some either Chinese or Japanese characters. So a lot of it, I'm going to be probably guessing what it is as far as things, but I'm guessing that's a glue. We have a ruler, some scissors and tweezers, and a cutting knife, which I find quite interesting. I never thought they'd have equipment with them, so that's quite neat. This looks to be a bag of a bunch of different materials. I can feel the wood grain here, if you will, on that one already. So this is looking like it's going to be quite a textured thing, which I didn't think would happen really. I didn't think ahead on that. We've got a booklet to go with it. We have, this feels a little bit heftier, so we've got some wooden bits, I believe. So this is more of the, so this is probably more the cardboard and the extra bits and pieces, and this is more wood paneling and little bits and bobs. You can see here we've got little pieces which I'm imagining are shelving units for the size of this is going to be, but anyway, we'll get into that in a minute. We have a battery, so I'm pretty sure there's a light somewhere in here, so that'll probably be to do with that, which is quite cool that it comes with that. Oh yes, there's some wires in this pack as well. So you've got some very minor lights and stuff, light chain, so that's kind of cool. We have some clear plastic pieces here. I'm going to try and not touch them too much because I'm assuming that they're going to be to do with windows or something. I'm not entirely sure. We have some coloured scenery pieces on paper or stickers, I'm not sure yet. So that'll be a lot of decorative pieces. And that's it in the thing. I'm just having a look. This will probably be our instructions actually. So I'm going to put this plastic section off to the side. As I said, I don't want to touch it too much in case I put fingerprints all over it or something. What have we got here? So template 1:1. Right. So I don't know, this is probably to match to something like some of these pieces or something. I'm not entirely sure. These have got a lot of A's written on them. The wood bits have got B's on them. A's are on these pictures, so it's probably to match where the pictures go or something. Or where to cut them maybe. Maybe these lines you need to cut on. Anyway, let's have a look at the booklet very briefly before I get started. So, material diagram of package A. So that must be, is that that one? No. That must be this. Okay, so if we have a look, number A1 is paper accessories. So that would be this. Note, page 18 to 22 of the manual are spare paper accessories. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, there we go. So probably if you muff up one of these, you can cut them out and glue them on or something. That's kind of neat though. That's really nice. And I have a feeling that might actually be... No, that looks like there's actually got quite a bit in it. Wow. Alright, this is probably going to be a much bigger task than I want it to be, but that's fine. And then we've got A2 is a template paper, so that's this big piece of paper, obviously. A3 is glue, so I'm assuming that's this. They don't have a picture of it, but I haven't got another tube. A4, one piece of sandpaper, so maybe that's in here. I'm just trying to have a quick look. Yeah, alright, I'm going to unpack this for starters. So we've got, oh there we go, that'll be the sandpaper there. And we have A6 is film, so I'm guessing that's the clear plastic that I put to the side. And then we have, wow, there's so many pieces. Alright, put that over there for the moment. So we have A7 is grass powder. So I'm guessing that's this one. It's not labelled, unfortunately, but I think that's fairly evident. There's nothing else in there. A8 is brown crepe paper, so this is the texture I could feel before, so that looks really nice. I'm looking forward to that. That's probably going to go around the outside of it for the most part, so that's cool. We have A9 is a small dark green dried flower. I think that's this dark one over here, and then A10 is small green dried flower, so that'll probably be the one next to it. A11 is a big pink dried flower, so we've got the pink one over here. I wonder if these are actual flowers dried out. There certainly seems material, like there's a lot of dust in the packaging and stuff. But yeah, okay. Then we've got a reddish brown corrugated paper. That's in here. I'm not going to open this just yet because if I don't need it, I don't want to unpack everything. But that's there. We can see that. A grey cloth. Not seeing that one. Oh, there. It's probably this one. Very small. It's probably just to cover a table or something. A green simulated turf. So I'm guessing this is this green here. You can see it's got a sort of turfish look to it, if that makes sense. As you would imagine on a train model or something. Brown crepe paper, one piece of 50 centimeters. I think that's this here. That doesn't look like 50 centimeters to me, but it's, I mean, that's my finger stretch is like 15, so it probably is. So it's a decent length there anyway. We've got an artificial flower, the white one here. Oh yeah, here we go, next to our cardboard. Sorry, grey cloth. A17 is another artificial flower. I'm guessing that's these ones here. And then A18, artificial flower 3, which I think is these ones. And then artificial flower 4, the slightly green one is over here. One piece. Oh, they've got 3, 2, and 1. Yeah, so that would make sense. And then a red bouquet, which looks like a thin matchstick at the moment, double-ended matchstick. So obviously that gets bent over by the look of the picture. Red bouquet, that'll be interesting. Okay, what else have we got in here? Any more listed? Yep. Diagram of package A3, so I think that's this one. Yes, A3. All right, wow, we've got a lot of little hinges and things. So the 2 hinges are in there, yep. Copper bag buckle. I think that's the little bent bit in there. It's probably hard to see. Yeah, I reckon that's that bit there that's bent. A3 copper buttons, we've got 3 of those there. I'll use the tweezers to point, maybe that'll make it easier. So this bit here is our buckle. There's our 3 copper buttons. We have a copper ring, small screws, you can see them in there. They'll be for the hinges, obviously. Silver nail claw. I'm guessing that's probably that upside down. I can't turn it in the bag, but yeah. Silver polygonal beads, so we've got those there, yep. Purple polygonal bead, blue bead, and yellow beads. Cool, so that's all those beads. We then have an artificial plant, so that's this bit in here. Looks a bit bent, but maybe that'll work out, I don't know. Another plant is purple, actually I think that's this blue one here, by the shape of it. And then purple foam particles is those, and yellow purple, oh yeah, purple foam particles, except they're yellow. So I'm not sure what that's about, but they're there definitely too. You can see a few of those, so that's cool. So lots of flowers and things. That's going to be nice, I think, to have a look at once it's done. And then package B, that'll be the boards here. So a bit harder to see, but you can see that there's a press out thing. Find the corresponding numbered wood block and press it with a knife at the joint point to take it out. Oh, okay, so there's probably little tabs attaching it all, obviously, like any of these things. And you use the knife in the grooves to just cut that tab off, I'm guessing, and then it'll pop out nicely. Cut off the burrs with a knife, yep, or sand the burrs with a piece of sandpaper. Obviously, we've got that brown sandpaper there too. Continuing along, we've got printed assembly wood, this piece, so that's this front bit here, obviously. We've got a second one of those, that's this one at the back. So they look really nice. They feel nice at the moment, so, and actually that's got the colored wood thing. So this material that we've got before must be for something else. Don't know what yet. We've then got assembly wood. Yeah, there's 2 of those in there, I think. 1, 2. I think there's one hidden behind this one. So yeah, that'll be probably those two. I'm not going to get it out until I need it. Wood blocks, yeah, so these are all the little bits that I can see here. There's another one there and there. So a couple of little wood pieces. Wood beads, again, you've got a couple sitting around. So that looks all right. And, oh, interior. Oh, okay, so this is where it starts for the building. So we're building all the little interior bits. That looks like a world globe, actually, yeah. Wow. That's going to be an interesting one because it looks like I'm going to have to cut that so that it pinches the ball and doesn't move. This is where, yeah, I think an experienced person would know exactly what they're doing with this. This is going to take me a while for some of it. It's like here too, this piece, like the picture is close to the size of my thumbnail. The actual piece is like the tips of the tweezers. It's tiny, so this is going to be a really interesting one. Oh, this looks nice though. There's a constructor book. So you just fold the piece of paper to make the book over. This looks really cool though, this mantelpiece. I think once that's done, that's going to be really nice. You can see 2 books, the globe, the, I'm guessing that's supposed to be like a teapot or something. Yeah, wow. And then this one looks like multiple old style books, so they're designed to look like leather books. So that's, the first book is probably paper, whereas this is probably a bit more like cotton or linen or something to make it look more like an old book. There's a couple of these sort of ones. And then all these beads and that to make little decorations. Here we go, bookshelf. So there you go, you've got all these books inside this bookshelf from over there. And the chair and stuff. Wow. This is a very intricate work. I don't know how long this is going to take me, but we'll give it a go. That looks almost like a suitcase, but it might be like supposed to be like a sideboard or something. And then you get into sort of the actual building pieces. So this is all, yeah, you can see you've got to glue a little bit here to overlap the wood and whatnot and make the base of it. And then you get the outside. What's this? Oh, okay, so we're going to be using clamps apparently to hold it together for a while. I think, yeah. Yeah, so you've got to glue the hinges on, and so you've got to hold them on while they glue. It's self-provided clip. Yeah, okay, I'll have to try and find a clip then. Okay, so this material is actually to make a branch. Wow, that's cool. So that'll be good. Yeah, and then you got the background in the panel of the box, and then you got to put the lights in and connect them. So you're gluing the light chain onto the something. I don't know how that's going to work. We'll see. And yeah, then you sort of start putting all the major pieces into the box, and then all the minor pieces go in afterwards. Yeah, so a lot of this is just set up at the end, I think. A little bit of gluing still to put bits and pieces in to create the diorama effect. Yeah, okay, well, it's going to keep me busy, I think. And that's, yeah, so there, I reckon that's where you put the clear piece in. Cut out A6 according to the template. So if we go back and have a look, A6 is, yeah, the film. So that'll be the clear plastic film according to the template. So that must mean, yeah, here we go. So this is to cut things down to the right size. So yeah, I'll probably measure these to make sure they're not off by a bit, but yeah, and then you obviously glue that on the back of that, I'm assuming. Paste B2 on the outer frame as shown in the picture. Oh, no, okay, so you've put that on, the clear film on, and then the covering over the top of it, I guess. So yeah, alrighty. Well, I think that'll probably do for our intro. I'm going to get into it. I'm probably going to do a bit of time-lapsing and maybe talking over the top once I've figured out where I'm going with this all, but hopefully you enjoy the process in seeing it. I'll try to describe how the steps go as I go, but yeah, wish me luck, and we'll catch you on the other side or part way through or something, see what happens. Well, there you have it, folks. Finished. I say that knowing that I am pasting this clip straight onto the back of the introductory clip. That was supposed to be like a 5-minute clip and ended up being like 15. So I decided to, as you've seen, put all the building pieces next to that and go that way. It was a very interesting build, to be honest, and overall I had a lot of fun with it. I will say it's a lot smaller than I anticipated. It is beautiful. It's actually ended up so much more than I could have expected. The lighting on it is just incredible and so nice. Yeah, overall, I'd say for the most part, it was a pretty easy build. The size definitely was a factor in it. Again, as I've said previously, I'm a 6-foot male, so my fingers are quite large. Getting them, you know, my fingers are as long as it is tall, basically. So yeah, fiddling with all the little tiny bits and pieces was very difficult. I will say on that note, I do have 2 more BookNooks I'm looking to do in the future, and they're a lot bigger. So basically these ones are more like, you know, 30 centimeters tall, 20 wide, 10 deep kind of thing. This is like 10 centimeters tall in total. So it's been a very small build. That being said, overall, I've had a lot of fun with it. It's crazy how intricate it is, and when you do an individual piece, rolling a bit of paper, folding a little bit of paper into a book, sticking a bead to a screw to be a decoration piece, you know, it's that kind of thing where I feel like it seems very blunt, and like, how would you misinterpret this as something, so to speak? Not misinterpret, but like, how do you not look at it and feel like this isn't realistic? But the more you put together, the more realistic it feels. Just doing the little bookcase right in here, it's that big, but it's got multiple books on the shelves and beads and things to represent stuff. And I think the thing is, your brain looks at it and it strips down the minor detail and summarizes it for you to the point where you look at it and it looks really like there's something going on, like it's a real setting and a real scene, like a doll's house essentially, but in miniature even. What else is there to say? I mean, it was separating the wood panels, and that was really easy with the knife that I got for it. I was a little bit shocked actually at how well I went with it in that regard. I have a few pieces left over, so I've collected a couple of bags. These are just the scraps from like the knocking everything out, so they're just, I'm hanging on to them for now because I don't know, maybe I can use them or not. I've still got like 1/3 of a tube of glue, so I was very careful to put like 1 drop of glue down, use a toothpick to get it. A bit of advice I would hand to you is definitely have some toothpicks and tissues handy. The toothpicks, as I said, putting glue down and then using them to put the glue around, I found that really helpful. And it meant I was just I wasn't sparing with the glue, I was very cautious, but there was plenty of glue there, essentially. So yeah, that was really handy. I've got like little bits of the wood, rippled wood that's the tree trunks. I've got a bit of twine that's like the wrappings of the wire and stuff, bit of flowering, a lot of greenery left over. There was a heck of a lot of excess greenery. The grassy stuff, this stuff in here, which forms the bulk of the greenery on the trees inside of it, I've probably used 20 to 30% of it. Same thing with the stuff that's the little branches and whatnot. Yeah. The one tool I didn't use, funnily enough, was the ruler. I could have used that. I kind of forgot about it, to be honest, so I didn't end up using that at all. But this knife, it's a really crummy knife, to be honest. It doesn't separate to lock or anything, but it did the job enough for this. So just holding it out and being able to push through the wood paneling and separate the wood paneling bits. So, you know, when you're sitting there and just pushing the little tabs to cut through it, basically, it was fine. So yeah, overall that was, you know, making the panels quite easily to do, making all the little bits and pieces. Probably my big fingers is my biggest issue. Rolling the papers and things like that was a bit difficult, but you know, I managed to find ways to get through it and whatnot, so I was happy enough with it. My biggest issue came, and it's not an issue with the BookNook itself, it was my own error, I will admit that, and for 2 reasons. So building this half of it, there's a panel in the middle, and that panel I put on backwards. So I was looking through the steps here, and I basically skipped a step where I didn't put this decoration on the panel, and then I glued the panel in the wrong way around. And the glue's that good that by the time I did that, I knew I wasn't going to separate it and turn it back around. It just wasn't going to happen. What's interesting about that is now the hole is definitely shifted because of it. But two things. Number one was I forgot that you get secondary copies of the paper panels for everything. So every book and so forth, there's a secondary copy in this booklet. So I don't know if every BookNook does that, but this was really great for that. And it was, I've just noticed it says mini down here, no wonder, mini BookNooks. Yeah, so if I had to realize that, I could have probably grabbed the paneling and re-glued them on the right sides, and the hole would have been slightly different, but that would have been about it. What I did do instead, which I planned to do when I thought about it for a bit, was I just continued along. And the reason was, what I noticed is the more I did, the more I realized that things were covered up. So in this side here, for instance, there's a staircase at the back of it. You can barely see it. There's pictures behind these bookcases of things and in the back of in here and stuff. And it's just, you can't see it because of all the extra stuff you're putting in. And that's the other part to it. Again, all these little things all add up to creating a scenery. And honestly speaking, by the end of it, it's just incredible to look at it and go, wow, this is like a complete scenery. And it really makes sense. And so, yeah, anyway, when I built this other side, this front side, before I put this all on, as you probably saw in the video, I basically ad hoc'd most of that. I followed the instructions in the sense of bits and pieces, but I decided where everything went, and I altered some things to make it fit better and that kind of thing. And overall, I feel like it got the same result. So I feel like they're very forgiving things to build. Just to be patient, take your time, do a drop of glue at a time, one thing at a time. And I think, yeah, they're going to go great. So I'm really happy with this BookNook. My wife is ecstatic about it. It's going to sit on her shelf. She loves it. And I'm looking forward to having to go at these bigger ones. This one in particular, I think is going to be an absolute ball. A lot of books probably to make in that. But yeah, I think overall, BookNooks, yeah, I'm really, really happy with them. And like I said, my big tips would be have toothpicks on hand to help with the glue, have tissues or bits of paper on hand to do stuff with. I had a crafting cutting mat to work on, so I was cutting everything into that so I knew I wouldn't be cutting anything. I worked on a piece of paper for the glue, so believe it or not, one sheet of paper, one A4 sheet of paper, that was all my glue drops through the whole project and wiped off an excess glue from that. Yeah, just trying to think what else. Other tips. Yeah, nothing else really. Most of it was just following the instructions and stuff. So there was a bit, you know, some odd instructions here and there, but a lot of it wasn't worded anyway. It's all pictures and things and labels, easy enough to follow. Yeah, there's definitely excess material on most things, so that was lovely. Yeah, just trying to think if there's anything else. I can't think of anything else for a tip, but yeah, like I said, toothpick, piece of paper, cutting mat from, you know, craft cutting mat or whatever. Those would be my big tips. Maybe an extra pair of tweezers. My wife gave me a pair of her tweezers to help. The tweezers in this seemed weak, but I think I realized by the end of it, the reason they're that weak is because it gives you a soft grasp. When I used the other pair of tweezers that we grabbed, I couldn't use it for some things because I knew it was going to crush stuff or dent it or whatever. The paper bits and stuff like that. So yeah, overall, really happy, really excited, and really eager to do the next two. I will probably try to get one done over the next few months and maybe have a video after a couple of months of, you know, a month of doing it. I did this in a week, probably a total, initially I thought, oh, this will be a couple of hours and done. Definitely not a couple of hours and done. I probably spent a total of close to around 10 to 15 hours in total doing it, including dry times and that, which I will say the glue in this was excellent. I love this glue. I wish it's all in Japanese or Chinese, I'm not sure, on the glue stick. So I don't have a hope in hell of knowing what glue it actually is. I'm tempted to try and figure it out though, because it was really nice. It's slow. A big dollop of it will tend to hang around a bit, but like the skin of it will form very quickly. So you have a bit of time to work with it, but like holding things in place and counting to 10 or 20 depending on how much glue pretty much did it, and they were set. So yeah, it was really easy to work with that way, just as long as I had patience for it, basically. So yeah, yeah. Future news, or upcoming news, I guess I should say. First things first, I have a puzzle that I'm going to aim to do for Christmas. So this is a 1,500 piece puzzle. I'm a little bit worried about all the dark, as would always happen. But yeah, that's going to be coming out hopefully on Christmas Day itself. It should be, but you know, unless something goes wrong. So that'll be an extra video on top of my weekly videos, hopefully. I'm hoping to keep to the week again. This BookNook kind of threw me a little bit this last week, unfortunately. But yeah, so look forward to seeing that puzzle getting done in a couple of weeks for Christmas. Next video I'm hoping for will be this 2,000 piece Ravensburger. So this is the, what's it called again? Poisons and Potions. So yeah, I'm hoping to do that over the next week. It looks really fun. A lot of colors, a lot of purple for the dragon, red for like the pumpkin, or red orange for pumpkins and birds and things, white for an owl or unicorn and stuff, but like background blue and green and aqua sort of colors, and a big boiling pot and bubbles. So yeah, lots of detail there. That this is kind of like the picture I like a lot. So I'm hoping this will be quick and easy, and I'll, yeah, having fun with that one, hopefully very, very soon. In addition to that, I'm going to be working on another video with my daughter. She's mini block builds. I got her these. She wants to build them with me, so we're going to do that as a video together. So that'll be coming up in a couple of weeks, hopefully soon. Probably the one after the 2,000 piece Ravensburger will be the crystal puzzles. I think I talked about these the other day. The cats, cats that way. So there's going to be 4 of those: unicorn, cats, flowers, and car. So that'll be another crystal 3D build, and all the other usual stuff coming along the way. So lots of puzzles coming up, lots of extra bits and bobs. I have the Lego wave I mentioned before I want to get done over the summer holiday break. So yeah, lots to come. As per usual, thank you for watching. If you want to keep me going, do all the things, the likes, the comments, and subscribe. Other than that, I will catch you next week in another video. All right, till then, Mud Stop out. Bye.